くぞジェノサイカッタ
What's up, everybody? Welcome back. This is Forgo, and today we're going to get some rubies thanks to Dizzy here, or really any of the Guilty Gear characters for the most part. And I also just thought I'd give you guys an update on my free-to-play account. So currently, right now, as far as Shizuru is concerned, I do have the character, but I'm still working on trying to get her memory. I still need 2 more of these shards in order to get a memory for the character, but I haven't done my tokens here yet today. Something else that I want to point out really quick is in the check-in login event, this started all over. So you're going to get more of these tokens right here. That's really, really nice that the game is doing that. I mean, we got 15 days remaining. We're going to get this, and more than likely we're going to get more coins. So that's really going to help your progression, or as far as maybe getting Shizuru, getting her cards for her, and so on. As far as the Reviving Hell's Dungeon, or not Reviving Hell's Dungeon, I'm sorry, the Rush Dungeon, I get them mixed up every once in a while. I have 59,000 of these coins, right? So I'm going to be able to get some goodies if I want. I'm working to try to get these fest cards right here because that is very vital, especially for this account, because these cards were going to work on any defensive character in the game. And as we've seen from previous videos, they are very, very strong. I also got to make sure that I get a 3PG, and I'll be talking about 3PG and how awesome that is in another video. But the free-to-play account's been doing really, really good. On this account, I'm sure some of you might be curious. I'm actually using this team right here. If I can kind of find it here real quick for you guys. Whoops. This team right here. I'm just using Ramlethal for her leadership. Let it run all night on my emulator on my computer. And then I got all the Christmas characters right here to obtain more coins, and that's pretty much about it. On my free-to-play account, I don't have as many resources as I do on my main account, so I just kind of make do with what I have, and that's really what everybody should do, especially if you're free to play. You just do the best you can, try to farm as much AP as you can, so that way you can get as many rewards from that rush dungeon as possible. I mean, you really want to try to get those fest cards if you can, and you really want to get that 3PG. Also, during the dice game, I've made it quite a few rounds actually in the dice game. As you guys can see, I've already made it 10 rounds around this thing. And again, this is my free-to-play account. So doing really, really good. Pretty sure I'm going to be able to make it all the way to 20 rounds and get everything in here, which is actually pretty damn awesome. Now, let me show you something that's pretty awesome. So I made a video a while back talking about why the Guilty Gear cards are actually so good. Now, I'm actually not even going to use them, but this game mode right here, Halls of Elements, this is an amazing game mode because whenever you farm in this thing, you're actually going to get, all these resources. You're going to be able to get these tokens right here, right? You also, the first time you clear this, you get these rubies. Look at that. That's 300 rubies right there. That is insane. It only goes to tier 25. I really like them to add some more stages to this. That would be dope, especially considering the amount of CP that we're actually being able to gain from all the new option cards, the new set cards, and so on. It would actually motivate people to want to pull for those cards in the banners. But in the exchange shop for this, these coins that you can get all these memories, even if you don't need the memory, right? Even if you're not even using these memories, you can still pick them up and use them for making dimensional invitation tickets for your collaboration characters, which is awesome. So on my main account, not on my free-to-play account, but on my main account, these characters are leveled up, except for this guy right here. They're leveled up. They're at level 5. They're 5-star. They're fully awakened. I can't level them up no more. So all these extra memories would just be fodder, and I can use them to make dimensional invitation tickets on top of farming the 0 clone memory every single week from Team Relay Dungeon. It's pretty nice, man. It really, really is. So we're going to jump in here, and in this game mode, they require a certain amount of CP. This is where CP is very, very important. So having certain set cards actually is a huge, huge benefit. We're going to go to my team here that we're going to be using here, and we're actually going to solo this with Dizzy. We're just going to use her leadership, which is awesome. 60% increase to balance type fighters. But if you look up here, you can see where the colors have certain advantages or disadvantages. Now, I know you veterans already know this, but if you're a newer player, maybe you're not aware of this. So the boss here is actually blue. So purple actually have the advantage. The color that's in front of the color that they're showing here, this is the color that has the advantage, right? Purple is going to have the advantage against this boss. They're going to do 50% more damage, and they're going to take 50% less damage from this boss. If the boss was a red, then blue would have the advantage. If the boss was a green, then the red would have an advantage, right? And so on and so on and so on. But we're going to be using Dizzy. She's going to be on a level playing field. They're both blue type characters because I don't have any purples that are built up enough, that have enough CP to where I can actually do this. And the thing about this, guys, is you want as much CP as possible, right? So I got this option card on here that adds a lot of CP, and it's just really nice because it also adds a lot of extra attack. That's something that was really nice about the Guilty Gear collaboration. We've had past cards like this from other banners, and they prove to be insanely useful. Not to mention, like, if you're switching your characters and you drop them in and the opponent is doing some kind of attack, because you have super armor, you don't get interrupted. You can land, you can go into your skills. It's actually quite nice. And then I'm actually using this SS set on her. I could use the Guilty Gear set and actually add even more CP because actually on my free-to-play account, I have the Guilty Gear set. I actually have this set. These are two sets I don't even have on my main account, which is actually insane. But this set is actually pretty awesome because it does give the extra increased attack by 21%, but it also gives the special signature active skill damage by 25%. Dizzy is an SS fighter, so she actually takes full advantage of this, and she also increased the attack by 20% for 5 seconds upon special SS fighter landing a blast skill. Guess who has a ton of blast skills? It is Dizzy, right? And the set does add a good amount of CP, but again, it's not as much as the Guilty Gear. And then we're going to use her 2-3 PGs. Something that I want to note about the Guilty Gear characters and Shizuru right now is because these cards here actually add like a critical damage and increase to attack, that actually adds an insane amount of CP. So right now for Shizuru, you can actually get her 3 PGs. So if you get the one with the critical damage and you get the one with the increased attack, that's going to bump up your CP a whole lot more than having one that's going to actually increase your active skill damage. This is really useful for whenever you're, spamming your skills. But as far as adding actual CP, the increased attack and the increase to critical damage ones are actually better. I might show that in another video. So let's jump in here. Also, something else to note, whenever you're playing this, for those of you that don't know, your strikers that you use here, see the little CP there, the amount of CP that it shows on them? That CP gets added to them. So you can see here with Ino here, it's 413 for Takuma, and then another 413 is getting added to Ino. So these strikers that you're using, if they have like card sets on them, if they have imprint stones on them, the more they're leveled up, the more CP they're actually going to add. You can see Biken here is actually at, well, let me go ahead and kind of remove my ugly mug from the video so you guys can actually see it. But right here you can see we got 1,333 CP, right? And for May here, we actually have 4,278. The reason we have so much on May is because, one, she's leveled up, she has a card set on her, and she also has imprint stones on her. These things are adding a lot of CP for Dizzy, which is actually very, very nice to have, guys. It's so great. Now watch this. Watch this. This is insanity. And again, if I had the Guilty Gear set, we'd get a lot more CP. It would be even easier. And that's what's nice about having those sets, right? That's what's nice about having them, is it allows you to go in these game modes where you need all this extra CP to be able to get it done. It makes a huge, huge difference. All right. We'll do a little burn explosion. We'll do a little cold right there. We won't do the explosion to make sure the cold dot lasts. I say this all the time, but whenever it comes to characters with dot explosion, anytime you go into 3 PGs or defaults, you want to make sure that you don't do explosion before that. You want to make sure that you have the dot applied. Oh, I didn't even see that guy. There we go. And now we're just going to murder this guy, right? We're going to absolutely destroy him. You got to do this within a certain time limit. So I'm just going to do burn first. Right? Apply a little cold there. Do our default here. And then I'm just going to spam her. And watch the amount of damage this girl does. It's pretty crazy. Well, actually, I might do the default. Yeah, we'll just do the default here. Right? And the thing about Dizzy here is this is really all you'd have to do. Because she has such a long default and a long 3 PG, you can actually go back and forth between her default and her 3 PG. Right? Every time you do this, you're stalling the timers. Right? It's just that easy. It's just, I'm sitting here having a conversation with you guys, talking to you about all this, and it's relatively easy. I could just spam her skills. And we'll just go ahead and spam it, right? Now, I could have just went ahead and just kept doing the 3PG and default over and over. By the way, Ramlethal is actually quite nuts for this too. Eno has a short default, so it doesn't work quite as well. But look at that, guys. 300 rubies, easy peasy. So like a character like Dizzy or Ramlethal or Soul Bad Guy, like these characters have insane long 3PGs and very long defaults, right? And because of that, you can sit there and go back and forth between your default and your 3PG because you're actually stalling the timer against these bosses. I mean, it's pretty sick, man. I gotta say, it is pretty damn sick that you can do that. I mean, that's something that's really nice about these characters and something that I wanted to highlight about them. It's pretty cool. I mean, I'm using Dizzy because she's a blue, right? But again, you could use Ramlethal is actually freaking nuts. Plus, Ramlethal has the PG rate leadership. She's so good for this stuff. Apply a little burn, get our burn explosion. Oh yeah, piece of cake. I mean, and honestly, if you had Ramlethal and you were using her leadership, you'd have that extra PG rate leadership with the 30% PG rate from Dizzy. It'd be even easier to do your default and 3PG over and over and over, just back and forth like we were doing a second ago. We'll just go ahead and do this. No biggie. I like how Dizzy always falls down. It's funny. Let's do it. Easy peasy. We'll apply a little burn. A little cold damage there, right? Remember, you just got to hit the first skill once. If you want to apply cold, hit it twice. If you want to apply burn. I do love her 3PG. It's funny. So easy, man. It's so easy. Plus, we're applying that dot right now, right? Before we're doing our default 3PG, so it just allows us to do a lot more damage. Dot is so powerful in this game. It's really, I just love that it's so strong. I really do. I love it. I mean, it's just, she just murders this stuff. This is so crazy that she can do this. We'll just go ahead and spam our skills, right? By the way, after you clear it the first time, you can just, you know, use your clear tickets. You don't have to do this, but I just wanted to do the run, you know, play it a little bit and just show how easy this is with a character like this. Again, Ramlethal is nuts because her default in 3PG, it'd be just like Dizzy. You can just sit there and go back and forth between those damn skills, man. Soul Bad Guy, pretty much the same thing. His 3PG is so long that you can do the same damn thing with that character. As long as you have enough CP, you can be able to do it. You can even go back and forth between the characters. I mean, Ramlethal, Dizzy, May's actually really good too because her default's actually fairly long. So Bad Guy. I mean, Biken and Eno, you won't be able to quite do that because their defaults are actually so short. I mean, the 3PGs are nice, especially Biken's. It's really, really long. But these four characters right here, you can sit there and pretty much go between their default and 3PGs as far as doing as much damage as possible. And that's actually nice. You know, you can stall the timer the whole time and actually do really, really well in Halls of Elements, get a bunch of extra rubies. But I've been super happy with the progression of this account. This account actually has been, in some ways, better than my main account. It's actually quite nuts how well it's done. I mean, there's always some luck involved, but whenever you're playing a free-to-play account, you know, my advice early on, like when you first start the game, if there's an SS character and you're going to have enough rubies, you're going to need 18,000 rubies to go to the pity to get a selector for that character. It's a guaranteed character for you. Then I would go for an SS character because they can carry you so far in the game. But once you get started in the game, you already have like one SS character or whatever, right, or BS character, then I would start focusing on only collaboration characters. This account's about 7 to 8 months old right now, somewhere in there. And all I'm going to focus on now is just solid collaboration characters because characters like May, characters like Ramlethal, characters like Eno, you can always level them up in the game. It's something that I stress a lot. It's very, very important because characters that are easy to level up can give you a lot quicker progression in the game. You know, early on, getting an SS character or BS character is actually really, really nice. But once you get going, like once you play for a month or two, then I would always advise people, especially if you're playing free to play, unless you just want to pull for a character because you love them, I would just always work on trying to get collaboration characters. And during the collaborations, they always offer a lot of really good deals, man. This Guilty Gear collaboration was absolutely insane. The amount of SS memories that we got, everything that we could collect, it was so good. Free A3 Soul Bad Guy. I mean, just so freaking nuts. So let me know how y'all doing in the game. Let me know your progression in the game. And I do stream on Twitch at 9 p.m. GMT+7 time. The link is in the description below. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Y'all take care and have a good one. See ya.